Welcome again to our Tuesday night shiur. And tonight, we're doing it Leilul Nishmat Shalom Netanel ben Rivka. And some of his friends have come to join us. Just to say a few words on Shalom before we start. He was a young man that we used to have shiurim once a week together for a period of time. And he would always get the boys together. We even did a shiur once in his own home. So now that we're doing a shiur in his honor, right before Matan Torah, right before Chag Shavuot, right before the giving of Torah, so it seems very appropriate to be doing this in his zchut, in his merit. And we hope that Be'ezrat Hashem, his neshama will go from chayil to chayil, from place to place, in the higher world. And we know that every word of Torah, Torah is the passport in Shamayim. When a person is elevated in Shamayim, in the way that he's elevated is through his learning of Torah. So it should be learning that he's like with us right now, learning with us, and I'm sure his neshama is with us learning. So God willing, this should be a big merit to him. So we called the shiur, really there's a big question on Shavuot that is coming up, why we read Megilat Ruth. I was thinking about it. Why is this the Megilat that we're reading on Shavuot? Why do we read Megilat Ruth? Out of all the things that we read, just to give you a little bit of a summary about what Shavuot is, it's the giving of the Torah. And the giving of the Torah is really a moment where the relationship of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Am Yisrael becomes of a relationship of a bride and a groom. And that's what it was at Matan Torah. The giving of the Torah on Har Sinai was a relationship of a bride and a groom. So what does Megilat Ruth have to do with the relationship of a bride and a groom? We know that Ruth was a convert. And we'll give a summary soon of what the story of Ruth speaks about. But really Ruth was a convert. It talks about a foreign woman that comes into the Jewish nation. What does that have to do with the giving of the Torah? Because we know that in every holiday, the Megillah that we read has to somewhat correspond to that holiday, to what's going on. If anything, I was thinking that really that the Megillah that we should read, or that we know on Pesach we read Shir HaShirim. We read the songs written by Shlomo HaMelech. So really, if you think about it, Shir HaShirim, right, is an expression of love between the Jewish people and God. And it's exactly what it is. It's the Jewish people that are constantly seeking out God. So if anything was more appropriate to read on Shavuot, to read on the giving of the Torah, which the relationship, again, is a relationship of a bride and a groom, wouldn't it make more sense to read about Shir HaShirim? Because that's what it is. Shir HaShirim is an expression of love of the Jewish people and God. If somebody asked me, they didn't, but if somebody asked me, which Megillah would you choose to read on Shavuot? I would probably say, let's read Shir HaShirim. But for some reason, you see that we're reading this Megillat Ruth, so there has to be something inside this Megillah of Ruth, some lesson, some idea that's coming and has to be connected with the giving of the Torah. Because otherwise Chazal, otherwise our rabbis wouldn't have made this takana, they wouldn't have made this Megillah to be read on Shavuot. And I'll tell you something more interesting. The Zohar says that we know that when Am Yisrael received the Torah, Paskazu Matan. Paskazu Matan means that they were no longer affected by the Yetzer Hara. The evil inclination, that takes you away from God, was no longer in existence. When Adam Rishon and Chava ate from the tree, it says that the Zuma, which means the evil of the snake, got into them. Basically, the Yetzer Hara became a part of us. But at Har Sinai, that Yetzer Hara was taken away. So, this is really what happens is, on Matan Torah, we're sort of, in Judaism, what happens is that same idea comes back down. Because in Judaism, we don't have idea of commemorating something. We don't commemorate things. Jewish people don't commemorate anything. What Jewish people do is they relive the moment. In the same way that we lived Har Sinai when the Torah was given, we are reliving that moment. And everything that happened in the moment of Har Sinai happens to us on an individualistic level and on a communal level as a nation. So what happened at Har Sinai? The Jewish people became like angels. They no longer had a Yetzer Hara. So now I'm going to show you a Zohar, and the Zohar says, I'm going to tell you what happened on the day that Shlomo Melech built the Beit HaMikdash. Because when was Shir Shirim revealed to the world? Shlomo Melech, who was the author of Shir Shirim, revealed this poem to the world, and the Chazal, our rabbis, say that all the songs that are written in the Torah are only holy. Shir Shirim is holy of holies. And I'm making a big case here. I'm making a case for why we should read Shir Shirim. And look what the Zohar says. Amar le, Rabbi Azariah says, Achi shamina lehai. You know, I heard this secret. Ki bahuz mina da melech Shlomo gali Shir Shirim. On the day that Shlomo Melech finished the Beit HaMikdash, he finished the Holy Temple, and he revealed Shir Shirim. You know what happened on that day? Listen to this Zohar. Zeuma da'u nachasha kadma de'atil ba'adam v'chamai tapasik me'alma. There was no longer a Yetzer Hara. Shir Shirim was so potent that it was like receiving the Torah again. Am Yisrael was dissolved of the Yetzer Hara. Paskazu matan. They became at the level of Matan Torah from the power of Shir Shirim. That's why Chazal say that Shir Shirim was Kodesh Kodeshim. It was the Holy of Holies. And so you understand, Shir Shirim is what? Seeming like what? A repetition of Matan Torah. Not only that, when was Shir Shirim given? On the day HaKadosh Baruch Hu said that Shlomo HaMelech had an influx of the Holy Spirit, of Ruach HaKodesh, and he gave over Shir Shirim. And Am Yisrael was dissolved of the Yetzer Hara. What happened in Har Sinai? The same idea. So if somebody were to ask you, which Megillah should you be reading? What corresponds to Shavuot? What would you say? Let's read Shir Shirim. Yeah. So why are we reading Megillat Ruth? So that's the question that we're going to deal with today. What does Megillat Ruth have to do with Shavuot? Because seemingly, it doesn't make any sense. But of course, if Chazal made it that that's what we should be reading, there has to be an inner depth to what Megillah Ruth offers us. And a lesson that has to totally connect us to the giving of the Torah and to the holiday of Shavuot. So, if you look at Megillat Ruth, Ruth was a convert. And she married a son of one of the wealthiest men. And at that time, there was a hunger in the land. And that family left the land. The family left the land. And as they left the land, there were two converts that the sons of this person, they left the land. And Elimelech's sons, Machlon v'Kilion, passed away. So now this lady, Ruth, and Orpah, were left without any husbands.
How long they was married? Lived together?
It seems not a very long time. So these two, Ruth and Orpah, who were married to Machlon v'Chilion, right? The sons of Elimelech, because they left the land, and he was a very powerful and prominent person in the community. And instead of staying and helping the Jewish people in the time of famine, he left the land. So God punished him that not only did he die, his sons passed away. Now this Ruth and Orpah are the daughter-in-laws. What happens? There's no more children. They're left with their mother-in-law. 3 ladies left alone, no more money. They're no longer in their prominent situation. They're no longer in their wealth. And the Megillah Ruth says like this. So Naomi, the mother of this Machlon v'Chilion, she says to the girls, she says to her 2 daughters, like, go and return, go back to where you came from, and may Hashem be with you. Why? Because she says to them, listen, Vatomar nala. They said to her, no, we'll come with you. So it becomes a conversation. Vatomer Naomi. Naomi says to them, no, listen to me, my children. Go back to your people. Why should you come with me? Do I have any more children in my stomach that I can give you? There's no reason for you to be with me. Go back. because I'm too old and I know I'm not going to get married again. And even if I got married and I found a husband tonight, are you going to wait for my offspring to get married to them? Really, this Ruth and Orpah have no reason to stick around. So what happens? They start to cry. Vatishak Orpah lechamota. Orpah, she left. We'll see what her end was. Ve'ut davkaba. And this lady, Ruth, she says, I'm not leaving you. Not only that, listen to the words of Ruth. She comes to Naomi and says, listen, Naomi, stop bothering me, I'm not leaving you. Do not urge me to leave you. Don't turn me back from following you. For wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people are my people. Your God is my God. Where you die, I will die. And there I will be buried. And she says to her like this, and I want you to know, Naomi, how serious I am, that the only thing that's going to separate us is death. So Ruth is not willing to take no for an answer. She tells her mother-in-law, I'm not in it for the reward. I know you have nothing to offer me. And this is where we learn the laws of conversion. The laws of conversion really comes from Ruth. The fact that a person comes and he wants to convert. But you see that Ruth is stubborn. She's very stubborn. She's willing to go all the way. This stubbornness of Ruth is really what's going to show us a big secret here. The stubbornness of Ruth that she says to Naomi, I know you have nothing to offer me, but the only thing that will separate us is death. Now, we know later on what happened. Ruth goes along with Naomi. Naomi has a family relative called Boaz. And Boaz ends up marrying Ruth. And from that union comes the kingship of David. Comes who? Mashiach. Mashiach comes. Look what the stubbornness of Ruth brought to the world. The stubbornness of Ruth allowed her to bring about this thing called Mashiach. She is the great-grandmother of David HaMelech. Hashem says, a stubborn woman like that, from her, this is the foundation. I'm going to build a foundation from here. Now, where else do we see that Mashiach comes from? Who else has an interesting story in the same way? Tamar. We know that Tamar was the daughter-in-law of Yehudah. And it says, she was the daughter-in-law of Yehudah, which was one of the 10 tribes. And she married his children. And after one child passed away, Yehudah gave her a second child. And he passed away also. And then he sent away Tamar. And Tamar was waiting for the younger son to grow up that she could marry him. And when she saw that the younger son already became of marriageable age and he wasn't being given to her, what do you think she did? Did she give up? No. She became stubborn. You know what she did? It says that she went, look at this Midrash Rabbah. Vayar Yehudah. It says that Yehudah saw.
She was sent away by her.
She was sent away by her father-in-law.
Yeah, her father-in-law.
So it says, look at this. This woman, Tamar, keeps her eyes to Shamayim. מלמד שתלתה עיניה בפתח של כל העיניים תלויות בו. Tamar, says the Midrash Rabbah, the Bereshit Rabbah, the Midrash says that Tamar kept her eyes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. She's like, Hashem, I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm going to do, she said, I'm praying to you, I'm praying to you that I don't leave this house empty-handed. She wanted a baby from the house of Yehudah. Look what happens. The Kadosh Baruch Hu says, oh, you're going to be stubborn? You're going to be stubborn? Look what happens. It says that Yehudah lost his wife. And because of the story of Yosef, he went down from his prominent position. Somebody else went down from his prominent position. Remember Ruth? Elimelech also goes down from his prominent position. All of a sudden, Yehuda also goes down from his prominent position. What happens over here? It says that Yehuda went on the way, and there was a harlot, a woman dressed like a harlot. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Yochanan.
It's a prostitute.
She was dressed as a prostitute. She wasn't really, but she knew that if her father-in-law recognized her, he would never think. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, bikesh la'avo. So Yehuda didn't want to stop there. So this was heavenly guided. Vezimen lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu malach. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought an angel to Yehuda. Shu memuneh ala ta'ava. This angel is the angel of lust. And he put the lust into Yehuda. Malo Yehuda. He says to him, the angel, Yehuda, where are you going? Unbelievable midrash. Echan ata olech. Yehuda, if you don't stop here, and you don't go with Tamar, where is David HaMelech going to come from? Where is the savior of my children going to come from? Me'echan melachim umdim, me'echan gdolim umdim. And the rest is history, as they say. So Tamar and Yehuda became one, and the kingship of David comes into play. You see from here, what's the foundation of the Jewish people? Mashiach is built on stubbornness. You're going to be stubborn? I'm going to give you kingship. Tamar and Ruth, the builders of Mashiach. What did they build it on? Stubbornness. Now let's look at this. Let's look at the offspring.
Wait,
the
but
king.
he didn't know it was her, right?
No, he didn't.
No. She dressed up.
That's right.
But she knew it was him.
Of course, that's her stubbornness. She was willing to go the distance. Tamar was willing to go the distance. She was willing to do whatever it takes. Now, this stubbornness translates into who? This devotion. You know what this devotion? There's no reward here. Not only that, they took out Tamar. Tamar was almost about to die because Tamar was a daughter of a Kohen. And they come to Yehuda and they tell him, Yehuda, you know your daughter-in-law, she was a prostitute. She had relations with somebody else. What does Yehuda say? Burn her. Take her out to be burnt. She was willing to be burnt as long as she was going to be the mother of Mashiach. She was willing to give up everything. What a devotion. What a stubbornness. This stubbornness and devotion, you know what that yields? That yields something very special. You know who that yields? David HaMelech. What happened to David HaMelech? David HaMelech came about in a way, because we're going to make it short just to get to the point, David HaMelech came about in a way where all his brothers looked down at him. Not only did all his brothers look down at him, they used to send him to be a shepherd in a place with wild beasts. And the Midrash says, you know why they sent him in a place with wild beasts? Because they weren't sure if David HaMelech was a legitimate child. So they wanted him to die. They sent him to die. And David HaMelech, even though they sent him to die, he still made it. And that stubbornness of Tamar and Ruth yields a kingship. What kind of kingship? You know what kind of kingship? David HaMelech inherited their DNA. You know how he inherited their DNA? Listen to David HaMelech. David HaMelech's whole life was a Kadosh Baruch Hu. I don't care, you're going to say no? I'm saying yes. Hashem, you're going to push me away? I'm coming closer. Stubbornness. David HaMelech wanted to build the Beit HaMikdash. Hashem says, David, I'm sorry, you can't build the Beit HaMikdash. You're a man of war. Your hands are full of blood. Even though the words you fought are L'Shem Shamayim, even though the words you fought are L'Shem Shamayim, your hands are built of blood. But your child's going to build it. Look at the Midrash of Tehillim says. David HaMelech says like this, Hashem, even though you told me I'm not going to build the Beit HaMikdash, he says like this, not only that you told me that I'm not going to build the Beit HaMikdash, says David HaMelech, Shira ma'alot leDavid samachti bo mi bet Hashem nilech. I was gladdened when I heard the nation of the Jewish people say, Bet Hashem nilech, we're going to the house of Hashem. What does that mean? That there were clowns in the generation of David HaMelech. And you know what these clowns says? They used to come to the window of David, Ayulchim etzel chalonotav shel David. They went to the windows of David ואומרים, David, מתי ייבנה בית המקדש? David, hey, imagine people talking to David HaMelech. When's the Beit HaMikdash going to be built? Because they knew he wasn't going to build it. They were pinching him. They were trying to arouse him. ומתי בית השם נלך? And when are we going to go to the house of Hashem? Meaning they were telling him, in other words, listen, David, as long as you're alive, the Beit HaMikdash is not going to be built. What would you do? Look at the stubbornness of David HaMelech. Look at the devotion of David HaMelech. David HaMelech says, Hashem, v'umer af al pi shemitkavnim la'achiseni, even though they want to make me angry, yeah, you know what I returned to them? Samachti b'omrim li bet Hashem nelech. I was gladdened when they wanted. Because what am I seeing? I'm seeing the Jewish people want to build the Beit HaMikdash. Samachti omrim li bet Hashem nelech. Says David HaMelech. They used to say, Matay yamut zeken zeh? When is this old guy going to pass away? Ve'avo Shlomo bno v'yibneh bet ha'brichira. And when is it time for Shlomo to be a king and build the house? You know what David HaMelech responds? Samachti b'omrim li bet Hashem nilech. The stubbornness of David HaMelech. Furthermore, David HaMelech says, I'm not going to give my eyes any sleep, and I'm not going to stop at she'emshal leikanes be'oel beti. Says David HaMelech, I'm not going into my house. I'm not going to sleep at she'emshal makom la'abir Yaakov until I found a place for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu reward him with? That he put the foundation for the Beit HaMikdash. He might not have been zocheh, he might not have merited to build the Beit HaMikdash, but Hashem gave him the foundation of Beit HaMikdash. Not only that, when David HaMelech says, Samachti Hashem ve'omrim li bet Hashem nelech, Hashem, I was gladdened when they told me that. And he's telling Hashem, I don't mind, I'll go. Just build your house. You know what Hashem responds to David HaMelech? Hashem says to David HaMelech, Tov li yom echad, better for me is one day, shata osek b'Torah, better for me is one day that you're learning Torah, David HaMelech, in this world, than in the days when Shlomo HaMelech will come and build the Beit HaMikdash and give 1,000 korbanot. When Shlomo HaMelech built the Beit HaMikdash, that day he brought 1,000 korbanot, 1,000 sacrifices. Said Hashem, I know what Shlomo HaMelech is going to do. He's going to bring 1,000 sacrifices. He's going to build me a beautiful home. He's going to build the Beit HaMikdash. 13 years it took him to build the Beit HaMikdash. And a building that was done from A to Z with the most expensive and the most lucrative things. Shlomo HaMelech didn't spare a penny. Hashem says, David HaMelech, better for me is one day of you learning Torah than 1,000 korbanot that your son Shlomo is going to do. Why? Because you're stubborn. You're stubborn. I told you you're not building the Beit HaMikdash. You didn't say, okay, you know what, let my son build it. Naomi says to Ruth, leave me, I have nothing to give you. No, the only thing that's going to separate us is death. I'm not taking no for an answer. Tamar, Yehuda says to her, she's left. Shla became older. The third son was ready for marriageable age. She saw that he wasn't given. She could have given up. She could have gone somewhere else and got married. She says, no, Hashem's not. Her eyes were to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, don't let me leave this house empty-handed. Hashem says, oh, stubbornness, devotion, we're going to build from you. Now, you see an ongoing theme over here. And Ruth, that didn't take no for an answer, now, what happened to Orpah? You know what happened to Orpah? I'm not going to go into details with you, because it's not so pleasant what the Zohar says about what happened to Orpah. Orpah was the one that took no for an answer. It says by Orpah that she went back and she wanted to go back to her nation. And when she went back to go to her nation, it says, Vatishak Orpah lechamuta, she kissed her mother-in-law. And she went back to Sdei Moab. She went back to Moab. Now they didn't want to accept her back. So you know what she became? A prostitute also. But you know what came out of her prostitution? A Goliath. You know who Goliath was? He was a man that came to the war front and he defamed the name of Hashem. He cursed Hashem. Orpah, who took no for an answer, had a child who cursed Hashem. And that child, who was Goliath, who was a giant, and cursed Hashem, Who took him out? David HaMelech. And how did David HaMelech wasn't a big man. He was a very short man, David HaMelech. The Torah says he wasn't such a giant like Goliath. But David HaMelech says, I'm not paying attention, and I learned something from Ruth. My great-grandmother was stubborn. She didn't take no for an answer. She didn't make any calculations. There's a big Goliath. Shaul says, I'm going to give a reward to whoever takes this guy out. Comes David HaMelech, says, hey, I'm here. He's defaming the name of Hashem? Put me in there. Says David HaMelech, put me in there. I'll go take care of him. And he fell in the hands of David HaMelech. The son of Orpah. This Orpah and this Ruth were sister-in-laws.
Yeah.
And look at the end. When you're stubborn and you go with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you have a son like David HaMelech. When you leave HaKadosh Baruch Hu and you take no for an answer, you have a son like Goliath that curses Hashem. Look at the difference. You know, I'm going to show you one more person that didn't take no for an answer. And look what his end was. The Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer says as follows. There was somebody called Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkunus.
Yeah.
Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkunus was the rabbi of who? Rabbi Akiva. Another man that didn't take no for an answer. Why didn't Rabbi Akiva take no for an answer? We're about to go to Shavuot. We're ending the 49 days of Sfirat HaOmer. Rabbi Akiva lost 24,000 students. After he lost 24,000 students, did he take no for an answer? No. He made another 5 students. And because of those 5 students, the Torah wasn't forgotten from the Jewish people. And where did Rabbi Akiva learn that kind of stubbornness? Where did Rabbi Akiva learn that kind of determination? From his Rebbe. You know how his Rebbe started out? Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkunus was the son of a very wealthy man. Hurkunus. And you know what happened to him? He was 28 years old. And we're going to make it short, because the whole story is a bit long, but it says that he was 28 years old, and he started to cry. So his father tells him, why are you crying? You want more money? You want more land? Don't worry, I'll give you more land. You know what he answers him? He says to him, V'lama ta bocheh? Eliezer, my son, you're a wealthy guy. Why are you crying? You're not happy with your land? You want a nicer land? What do you want? You're not happy with the Mercedes? I'll buy you an Aston Martin. What do you want? Yeah? What did he say to him? Amar lo shani mevakesh lilmod Torah. Abba, I want to learn Torah, says Rabbi Eliezer. Amar lo, but aren't you 28 years old? What are you looking for Torah for? This is what you want to do, go learn Torah. Go take a wife, have children, buy a yacht if you're bored. You know, what are you doing? What are you looking for problems over here? Rabbi Eliezer, you know what happened to Rabbi Eliezer? What did he do? Did he take no for an answer? No. Rabbi Eliezer started to fast. He went on a hunger strike. And he went on a hunger strike with such devotion until Elijah the prophet revealed himself to Eliezer, Va'amalo ben Hurkunus, the son of Hurkunus. Why are you crying? Lama ta bocheh? So Eliezer tells Eliyahu Navi, because I want to learn Torah. I don't want to take no for an answer. I want to learn Torah. Look at the determination. You know what happens to Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkunus? Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkunus, Eliyahu Navi tells him, you want to learn Torah? Go to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was a great sage at that moment. So when Eliezer ben Hurkunus went to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he didn't even know the Aleph Bet. He didn't even know the first letters of the Jewish alphabet. And he comes to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai and he tells him, listen, Rabbi Yochanan, I need to learn. He says to him, did you ever say Shema? No, I don't know what that is. Did you ever pray? No. Birkat HaMazon, did you ever bless after you made a meal? No. She says to him, Rabbi Yochanan, get up and I'll teach you all of them. And he taught him. And he still was crying. He says, why are you crying now? I'm said to him, I want to learn Torah. It's not enough. He started teaching him 2 halachot. 2 simple halachot every day. And then he taught him more. And he taught him more. And a little bit more. And when they started inviting this Eliezer for meals, he says, no, I used to eat by that guy. No, I used to eat by that guy. His stubbornness and determination knew no bounds. Till a moment where, when his father heard that his son left everything, and he went into this thing called learning Torah, he went up to Yerushalayim, and he wanted to excommunicate his son. He wanted to take him away from the inheritance. And when his father walked into the Beit Midrash, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai realized that this was the father of Rabbi Eliezer. And he told him, Eliezer, get up and say Torah. Get up and say some Torah. And this Eliezer ben Hyrcanus, who a few years ago didn't know nothing, it says that at the moment that he spoke Torah, it was, says Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, a pillar of Torah, says about this man who didn't know Torah, it was like the Torah was given from Har Sinai. And he kissed Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus on his head. He says, Ken Yirbu Kmotcha b'Yisrael. There should be more like you in Israel. And his father Hyrcanus, when he heard the Torah of his son, he said, I want you to know, my son, that when I came here to take you away from the inheritance. But now that I see the power of Torah, now that I see your determination, your brothers are off the inheritance and it's all going to you. His father told him no. Rabbi Eliezer said yes. Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus was stubborn. I'm not taking no for an answer. Atzeret, which is what we call Shavuot, is Rosh Hashanah. You know that? You're about to go into Rosh Hashanah. It's Rosh Hashanah. Saturday night is Rosh Hashanah. And you're getting judged. You know what you're getting judged about? You know it's Rosh Hashanah Saturday night. Are you ready? Hashem is judging you. Are you ready for Rosh Hashanah? You know what Hashem's judging you on? It's a spiritual judgment. Hashem's asking you, He's going to write you. Hashem comes to you and says, how much spirituality do you want for this year? How much Torah do you want for this year? That's what the judgment is on you. Hashem comes to everybody and says, what do you want to be this year? You want to learn more Torah? You want to do more mitzvot? What do you want to do this year? I'm judging you. I'm giving you an opportunity. What are you going to say? Are you going to say no or are you going to say yes? Are you going to be stubborn? And don't be a cheapo. Don't be a cheapskate when it comes to spirituality. You ask for it all. You see from over here that really, now we can understand our first question. Although Shir HaShirim is a great way of expression of love between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Jewish people, and it would have been very fitting because really that was the greatest expression of love is HaKadosh Baruch Hu giving the Torah, Hashem giving the Torah to the Jewish people. So it would have been very befitting to read Shir HaShirim. It would have been very befitting to read Shir HaShirim on Shavuot. But you see from here that Hashem says, I want you to learn a lesson. And I want you to learn it from Ruth. And I want you to learn it from Tamar. And I want you to learn it from David HaMelech. I want determination. I'm not taking no for an answer. And if you think I made this message up, I'm going to show you a midrash. And the Midrash Rabbah says like this. He says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes to the Jewish people. And he says, listen, Jewish people. In the time of Galut, when you're going to think that I gave up on you. Yeah, in the time of exile. When you're going to think that I gave up on you. And it's in this week's parasha. Afal pi she'atem lo ami, even though you Jewish people in the time of exile are going to think that you're not my nation, shetevakshu la'afrish mimeni, you're going to want to be taken away from me. You're going to say, Hashem, no. Ani lo yeh lachem, en da'ati mityashevet imachem. I don't agree with you. You know what Hashem's saying? I'm not taking no for an answer. He says, Elabal korchechem tiyuami, against your will, you're going to be my nation. Against your will. Don't say we're going to be like the other nations. We're going to be like the other nations. Hashem says, I'm going to be stubborn. And I'm going to rule over you whether you like it or not. I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm just as determined. The lesson that Ruth is coming to teach us is determination. Hashem says, I'm going to rule over you. You are my nation. So when it comes to Shavuot, and now all of a sudden you're reading Megilat Ruth, you're going to tell him, Hashem says, Vayomer Hashem el Moshe, Ki yadati ki am kashe orefu. I know that these people are stubborn. You know what we're going to tell Hashem? Yeah, we're stubborn. You're right, Hashem. We're an am kashe oref. We're a stubborn nation. Why? Because we're not going to take no for an answer. We're not going to take no for an answer. We're going to learn from Ruth. We're going to learn from Tamar. We're going to learn from David HaMelech. We're going to learn from Megilat ben Hurkanus. That what? We know that Mashiach came about because somebody was stubborn. Because somebody was determined. Ruth was determined to a point of selfless devotion. There was no reward that could be given her. Naomi had no children. And she says to Naomi, the only thing that's going to separate us is death. We tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you know what we're going to do? You know what our mission is this Shavuot? You know what our mission is in this giving of the Torah? We're going to be like Ruth. The only thing that's going to stop us from trying to get close to you is after 120 years. That's the message of Ruth. That's the message of Shavuot. That's why Chazal wanted to teach us. You want to be Zochet to Torah? You want to merit Torah? You want to merit closeness to Hashem? Be stubborn. Be determined. Hashem, that's what we say to Hashem on Shavuot. It's Rosh Hashanah. This year we're not giving up. This year we're going to be determined. This year we're going to do whatever it takes to be written in that book of Talmidei Chachamim, to be written in that book of people that are close to you. That's what Ruth taught us. And that's the message of Chazal on Shavuot. Don't give up. Don't take no for an answer. Even if it seems like Hashem is pushing you, you're going to say, Hashem, you can push me till tomorrow. I'm not taking no for an answer. Should be a zchut for Shalom Netanel ben Rivka, and we should all, Be'ezrat Hashem, take this message. And Shavuot night, you can start by Shavuot night, even though we all know we have to stay up, and those eyes are closing. You're going to say no. You're not going to take no for an answer. You're going to be stubborn. You're going to stay the whole night. You're going to stay up the whole night, and you're going to push, and you're going to be determined, and you're going to learn another word of Torah, and you're going to say another word of Tehillim. And you're going to tell Hashem that this year I have a message for you, Kadosh Baruch Hu. I'm not taking no for an answer. Stop here.